What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. It has definitely been quite a while since my last laser video, but I thought I'd do a follow-up video because I got so many questions after the last one that I wanted to answer for you, and I actually recently went in for some touch-ups as well, so I thought I'd share that with you as well as what the results are looking like. If you haven't already seen my last laser hair removal video, but you are interested in laser hair removal or you're getting it done currently, I definitely recommend checking that video out. Just for some context, I got full body laser hair removal done quite early on, and I waited quite a while before getting any touch-ups done, so I shared my experience. I got a lot of questions on my last video asking for recommendations for laser technicians in the Greater Toronto area. This time around, I went to Mona at House of Laser in Brampton, and honestly, she is such a sweetheart. She knows her stuff. She's really meticulous and consistent with her service as well, so I wanted to share a little bit of my experience with the touch-up sessions this time around, and then we'll check back in to chat a little bit more about the frequently asked questions. It's okay? Mm-hmm. This is the lovely Mona from House of Laser. We just did my face, Brazilian, and underarm touch-ups, so I will keep you guys posted. Thank you. No problem. Aside from who I went to, I got a ton of questions about my experience as well as laser hair removal overall, so I compiled a list of FAQs that I have some answers for, and I also got Mona to answer them based on her expert advice and knowledge as well. Because you guys just met Mona, I'm gonna share some of the questions that she answered first. What is the best way to prepare for a laser hair removal? Mona advised shaving the area 24 hours before the appointment. The closer the shave, the better. She recommended not to pluck, tweeze, or wax the hair at least 2 weeks before starting laser. While getting laser hair removal, the only form of removal should be shaving, because any other form of removal will actually take the hair out from the root and potentially mess around with the regrowth. She also recommended not tanning or using any chemical tan for at least 2 weeks before your appointment. If you've been on any medications in the 2 weeks leading up to your appointment as well, it's recommended that you let your technician know. So how much does full body laser really cost? The price of laser hair removal varies depending on the city, and generally the price for full body laser hair removal in the city of Brampton in Ontario is between $210 to $270 per session. If you're paying anything less than that, the chances are that you're going to a technician who's not as experienced or who isn't spending enough time in each area to weaken the follicle enough for you to have permanent hair reduction. So I mentioned in my last video that I got a really insane deal on my full body treatment, but mind you, it was so long ago, and like Mona mentioned, there were inconsistencies in my treatment, and I think it's really important to pay for the quality that you want. So obviously, if you want permanent laser hair removal or as permanent as possible, you really want to ensure that you're going to someone who knows their stuff. Are at-home laser treatments as safe and effective as in-studio laser treatment? Mona said the machines at home are less powerful and less effective than professional laser machines. Although you might see your hair grow a little slower, you cannot reach 90% hair reduction at home, which can only be reached with a professional laser hair removal machine. Another big downfall with at-home laser devices is that the tools have a very narrow range of hair and skin colors that they can work on. You have to have very light skin and dark hair for you to see any results with the devices. I would also add that the skill of a professional laser technician is very different from the skill set that maybe you and I might have, and you don't want to run the risk of potentially burning yourself or doing anything that could kind of make the situation worse for you. And you can always go in for a consultation as well to make sure that you're comfortable with your laser technician and you kind of understand the experience a little bit better. How many sessions would you recommend for full body, and what about touch-ups? Mona recommended 8 to 10 sessions to see full hair reduction, although it can take more depending on your hair growth, hair density, hormones, medications, and so on. All of these results vary from person to person. After your sessions are completed, it's recommended to come in for touch-ups between 6 months to a year after, to make sure that the hair follicle stays weak enough for hair to not grow anymore. Do you have any advice for handling new growth mid-treatment? It's important to remember that the only form of hair removal between sessions is shaving, and the great thing about laser hair removal is that there's no growing phase. If you see new hair growth between your appointments, it's completely safe to shave. She doesn't suggest shaving frequently, but shaving 3 to 4 times between your sessions will not harm your results. One thing that's important to note though is to observe how your hair is growing and give your laser hair technician a rundown of your results at every session so that they know if the settings that they're using are actually working for you. What specific laser technology is recommended? Mona said there are many different lasers that are on the market. The one that works best for all skin types and has the most effective results is a diode laser. The diode laser is considered the newest technology in laser hair removal, and not only is it considered the most innovative, but it's also able to cover a wide range of different skin colors with minimal pain and discomfort. It's really important to kind of personalize the settings, and you need to have the flexibility to do so because some people have lighter skin, darker skin, coarser hair, finer hair, lighter hair, darker hair. There's so many factors, so you need to be able to kind of manipulate the settings to work for those accordingly, and being limited by that will definitely affect your laser hair removal experience. The final question for Mona was, how do I know if my hormones are stable enough for laser? People with hormonal imbalances find that they don't get the full results as fast because their hormones and hair cycle is constantly changing. Although you might not see results as fast, it's still considered a great option for clients with hormonal imbalances such as PCOS. PCOS clients do tend to need more sessions to see full results, but it's the best way to thin out and slow down hair growth overall. Many people who suffer from fast hair growth on their face especially find laser hair removal extremely beneficial as it's not painful and irritating like waxing. Aside from hormonal imbalances, age obviously plays a huge part in your hormone cycles, so I think it's really important to wait for your hormones to stabilize as much as they can after puberty, because I think prior to puberty or even right after, your hormones are kind of going haywire, and I mean a lot of the time after it's the same thing, but I definitely recommend speaking to a doctor just to kind of run the idea by them and to see what they would recommend as well, because of course you don't want to be spending your money and dedicating time and effort to a treatment if it's not necessarily going to work the most for you at that time. Now, some questions that I will answer based on my experience. How often do you exfoliate between sessions? So exfoliation in general is a pretty important thing. Our skin can just end up being dry and dead, and if we don't exfoliate it, it kind of just clings to our bodies, and a lot of the time that skin needs to shed itself but can't do it on its own. I think it's important to consider your skin type as well as what your hair condition is at that point. I generally have very dry skin, so I kind of shy away from exfoliation out of the fear of over exfoliating and damaging my skin further, but when it comes to laser hair removal, I think it's important to look at the weakness of the hair. Oftentimes, if you can kind of pick the hairs out from the follicles, you should be in a great position to be able to exfoliate. I generally say exfoliating once a week with an exfoliating mitt or glove is a good idea. How long to wait to get a tattoo after you've finished your laser hair removal session? The good news is you don't actually have any downtime for tattoos after you get laser hair removal. You can get them pretty much at any point, but if you do happen to get some new ink while you're getting your treatment done, please let your technician know so they know to steer clear from that area to avoid any potential of burning. And finally, my problem with laser hair removal is it leaves small dark dots all over my body, especially arms and legs. Why does this happen, and how can one get rid of this? So sometimes this is called strawberry legs or strawberry arms, and it often has to do with the melanin or pigmentation of your skin, and it can be a genetic thing, which at that point there isn't really too much that you can do based on the laser hair removal. But I can definitely say that you will see a huge improvement if you are doing laser hair removal versus shaving, because I feel like overall the follicles are just a little bit more subdued. But there are also a lot of great products on the market that can help with this condition. One brand that I'd recommend for any sort of hyperpigmentation issues is Topicals. In case you haven't tried it already, they have a really great product range, and a lot of their products are sensitive skin friendly as well. And that is it for the questions. Those were the questions that I found to be popping up most in my comment section, but of course if you have any others based on this video, please leave them down below and I will get to answering them ASAP. So now a quick result check after my recent touch-up session. So like I mentioned, I did get my face, underarms, and Brazilian touched up once again this time, and I will be going in for a few more sessions, but I've only gone in for one so far, and let me get up close and personal to show you some results. So I obviously have makeup on, but I dermaplaned my face after my treatment, and I haven't really seen too much regrowth. I already didn't have much regrowth. It was just a little bit of like peach fuzz. I found that I had hair growing along my jawline and kind of like on the chin area, upper lip, you know, the works, but it wasn't anywhere close to the way that it was before I started my treatment, or even like in the process of the initial phases. I wanted to try zapping whatever was left. I haven't really seen any sort of regrowth yet. It's not even really peach fuzz. I don't see anything. I don't feel anything. I did do this more recently though, so I will check back in maybe in the comment section to let you guys know over the next few weeks how things are going. We're gonna get real close right now because I'm gonna show you my underarms. I don't think I've ever done this on camera, so we are unlocking a whole new level of friendship here. I had pretty consistent regrowth for my underarms. I would basically have to shave on a weekly basis, and the follicles were definitely very active. And this is what they're looking like now. There's just a little bit of hair over here. I haven't shaved my underarms since my treatment. This is pretty great. I definitely had some regrowth after the treatment, but I was able to kind of exfoliate it out, or honestly just pluck the hairs right out of the follicles. And this is one session in. I feel like after a few more sessions, I am gonna be good to go. All right, that's enough. But that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed and found this helpful. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok. My handle is the same for both, and I will be back here very soon. So until then, stay safe, stay happy, and take care. Bye.